Netflix's Locke and Key redefined the fantasy genre and quickly became a fan favorite. But we've got some sad news for you. The show won't be coming to the streaming service for a fourth season. You must have plenty of questions, starting with why. Well, lucky for you, we've got all the answers. Keep watching this video for all the deets. To start with, Season 3 was the series finale. A lot of viewers just had one question in mind since watching Season 3 of the series. Was this the finale? The answer is yes, it was. There will be no Locke and Key Season 4 because when it was picked up for the third season, it was announced that it would be the final one. It's an odd concern for a Netflix series, which are either such huge hits that they run for 5 to 7 years, or they do well, then fall off, then get cancelled, ending on some season finale cliffhanger, and never being able to close up its plot threads. Moving on, was the show a huge hit? Locke and Key is a good series that may not be one of Netflix's mega hits, but it gets a conclusion because of some serious preparation that went into production between the showrunners and Netflix itself. It keeps the show from being sent to the Netflix graveyard of projects that run for 1 to 3 seasons and end incomplete. The show now represents a complete series in the Netflix archive, and to be honest, it doesn't have a lot of those. So as you might have suspected from the ending, there will be no Season 4. Following up, Season 3 was the weakest of the 3 seasons. According to critical and viewer agreement, Season 3 appears to be the weakest of the show's 3 seasons. This was primarily due to the elimination of Dodge as the major villain. Even though she did appear as a cameo in Bode's body for a few episodes, the Revolutionary War villains were not on the same level. Also, throughout the series, everyone continued making stupid decisions. Let's look at the ending. We liked how the Locke family threw all of their magic keys back into the portal to the demon dimension in the end. This was done in order to close it and give up their power, but they were inviting less death and danger into their life in the future this way. The episode concludes with some key whispering, and there were more stories from the books that could be adapted if they wanted to return to the program someday. But we think this was a pretty solid series conclusion, and it's time to put the Locks to rest, even if some fans may want to see a Season 4. Let's learn more about the cast. What happens next for the cast? We might see them in other Netflix films, but one of them in particular has caught our attention. The actress who plays Kinsey, Amelia Jones. In case you missed it, she starred in Coda, the literal Oscar Best Picture winner of 2022. She played the role of a singer with a deaf family. While the actress was not nominated for an acting Oscar, she did an excellent job in a high-profile role, and we should expect some really wonderful things from her in the future. Jones will also appear in 2 future films, Fairyland and Cat Person, but for the time being, we don't know if she'll be returning to television. Not to mention, this news was made public via Instagram and some other details. On April 6th, the streamer announced on Instagram that Season 3 of the beloved show would be the last. A caption accompanied a sequence of stills from the latest installment, your first look at the 3rd and final season of Locke and Key, coming later this year. As heartbreaking as this news is, a 3-season run is typical for most Netflix shows. Save your money for bigger shows like Stranger Things and Money Heist, because their subscriber-based model doesn't always attract new viewers after a certain amount of time. Showrunners Carlton Cuse and Meredith Averill issued a statement at the time of the cancellation announcement. They said that when they first started working on the series, it felt like 3 seasons would be the perfect length to bring the Locke family and their Key House adventures to a satisfying conclusion. Plus, as storytellers, they are grateful for the opportunity to share Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez's extraordinary tale the way they intended. Now they're keeping the magical keys for themselves. Finally, the show loses a bit of magic in its last season. When Locke and Key premiered in February 2020, it couldn't have come at a better moment. We were locked inside our homes, and it was the perfect distraction. Now the 3rd and final chapter of the show emphasizes other things, and as we grow older, we lose interest in magic and imagination and instead focus on what is ahead of us. So while this final bundle of episodes includes some less magical moments, it's still a grand finale that successfully concludes this family and childhood saga. Despite its demons and mystical components, Locke and Key has always been a series about family. We witnessed this in Nina's willingness to stand up to raise her children after years of dealing with alcoholism and losing her husband. We can see it in Kinsey, Tyler, and Bode's bond. Unfortunately, this series stumbles here, where it normally excels. To begin with, most of the magic just doesn't add up. Besides, many of the season's resolutions seem overly convenient, with scenarios that you must shrug off and let go. In any case, we believe this was the correct decision for Locke and Key, which has now received a good ending. We'll have to wait and see if additional shows follow suit in the following years, or if Netflix continues to leave leave a trail of unfinished stories in its lineup. Now, on to some other news. First off is The Devil in Ohio, based on a true story. With Halloween approaching, Netflix is releasing creepy content early this year with the unsettling limited series Devil in Ohio. It is based on Daria Politan's novel. Politan is also working on the show as a writer and executive producer. The show is based on true events. The series is based on the 2017 novel of the same name, and the author has been open about her inspiration for the story. She shared her research process for the book in a blog post titled "My Top 5 Scariest Moments," researching Devil in Ohio. Details were transferred to the screen because the writer also served as the showrunner on the Netflix show. One of the scariest moments she described was speaking with the source of the true story Devil in Ohio. While Politan did not want to reveal her source, she did say it was terrifying to hear how this young woman had escaped the cult in which she'd grown up. Up next, a fan favorite series just got a release date. Dairy Girl's third and final season finally has an American release date. According to TV Line, the series will be accessible on the streaming platform from October 7th. It'll be starring Saoirse Monica Jackson, Nicola Coughlan, Jamie Lee O'Donnell, Louisa Harlan, and Dylan Llewellyn. Last fall, creator and writer Lisa McGee announced on Twitter that the third season will be the last. Also, it was always the goal to conclude the show after 3 seasons. Dairy Girls is a coming-of-age story, a love letter to the town I came from and the people who inspired me, McGee said, and it was an honor to write the show that she was so proud of. The show debuted in the United Kingdom and Ireland in January 2018, followed by Netflix in December 2018. Plus, the first season received high marks from reviewers and fans, with a 100% certified fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 97% certified fresh rating for the second season. Lastly, Mike Flanagan's new Netflix show addresses a midnight mass complaint. Mike Flanagan reveals that with The Midnight Club, he will avoid one of the mistakes of his previous Netflix horror series, Midnight Mass. Although Flanagan has established himself as a theatrical horror filmmaker, he is best known for his contributions to Netflix's spooky offerings. Hush, a 2016 home invasion thriller, was his first collaboration with the streaming site. Flanagan has collaborated with co-creator Leah Fong to bring Christopher Pike's young adult novel The Midnight Club to Netflix. Season 1 will premiere on October 7th and follow a group of young people with terminal illnesses who congregate in the middle of the night to tell each other terrible stories. And the group of young people is largely made up of rookies, but they are joined by Midnight Mass stars Zach Gilford and Samantha Sloyan, as well as Heather Langenkamp from A Nightmare on Elm Street. One critique about Midnight Mass was that the show tended to include characters delivering lengthy monologues. In addition to a greater emphasis on scares, Flanagan assures fans that he would not subject viewers to The Midnight Club to an 8-minute speech. That's a wrap for this video, so what do you think about the fact that No Locke and Key Season 4 will be coming to Netflix? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.